Shah Rukh Khan, just not a family friend. He is just the brother here. And Videocon we have started with this inspiration. And I can always say that Shah Rukh Khan is also owner of Videocon too. And that's why he comes over here. Otherwise, such a difficult time, he is so busy and it is impossible to find Shah Rukh Khan like this over here in such a good mood and always busy.
For an extra special reason, because it's not just about the movie industry and the media and entertainment industry, it's about contribution. It's about the contribution that towards Indian business. I'm very happy to report in my presidency, I think Mr. Venugopal Dhut spoke about that. In my presidency in Assam, and this is one of the reasons why we are here, that we must celebrate the movement of Indian business. And I look at Shah Rukh Khan differently. Everybody looks at him as a super artist, which he is, super creator as he is. But my only equation with him is as a creative entrepreneur. How somebody like him can drive the future of creative entrepreneurship. How he can do design, innovation, creativity, and entrepreneurship. I call it DICE. I can't think of a better entrepreneur than him because he's done the DNA, he's built the genetics of the industry. But how that transforms into building a business, building an outstanding business, which I know he can, whether it's called Red Chilies, whether it's called VFX here and there, and with the sports apparatus that he's been able to build successfully. The beauty of his leadership, which is why I requested my friend Venugopal Dhut as my past president and my mentor in Assam to ask SRK to be there before I, demit office. The fact of the matter is that how do we catalyze entrepreneurship? It's not only the Prime Minister's mission, it is... So I am very pleased that in my 2.5 years as Assam president, I've tried to make a little bit, shifts here and there. It's not been stratospheric, it's not been tectonic, but the fact of the matter is that it's made a little difference because the new government has listened to some advice that my leaders and I have been able to publish and to be able to follow. And I think it's making a slow shift because the gears in India change very slowly. The fact is, who can be a role model for creative entrepreneurship? Venugopal ji did that through Videocon. He built an apparatus which was the first, most indigenous. It could have been Samsung, it could have been Sony, it could have been better, and right? But SRK is not even tapping 10% of his talent. It's not about movies. It's about his business skills. Because that's the only subject I have in common with him. Because the movie...
We'd love for you to say a few words. While you're seated, you don't understand.
Thank you very much and a very good evening to everybody. Thank you very much for having me at Assam and thank you, Dhut Sahab, for calling me. And thank you, Ranaji, for explaining to us stuff that I really don't understand, especially the zeros and the billions that he mentioned. If I sat down to count the zeros and the billions that I may make one day,
I think 007.
That's the only zero I understand. But thank you very much for hoping and believing. Apart from all that, I'll come down to that. First of all, congratulations to Assam, nearly 100-year-old organization I made to understand, built up with a lot of perseverance, love, and of course knowledge of different industries. And this year, I think they've dedicated themselves to create a white paper, as they call it, or nearly a coffee table book, because here it is, which kind of tells us the way forward for the media and the entertainment industry. So people in the media and entertainment, Boniji is here, Sunil, my friend, is here, and I'm sure some other people I can't see. But most of the people in the film industry look forward to leaders in the industry, in the respective industries, like Dhut Sahab, like Mr. Rana Kapoor, to show us the way, show us the path, because sometimes creativity does overtake the business angle of it all, so we don't understand. So I thank Assocham, I thank everyone involved with this white paper, and everyone who is here on stage, and all of you showing an interest in an industry which really does form a core, one of the core industries in India. You know, when we talk about make in India, made in India, we talk about the kind of stuff we do in this country somewhere, perhaps a little selfishly so or self-absorbedly so. I do feel the Indian film industry does stand for something very specifically and beautifully made in India. It does take us across borders, it tells people about our cultures, talks to them about our music, and somewhere down the line spreads the word of what India stands for in its own, sometimes mad, sometimes cool, sometimes colorful, and sometimes perhaps a little over-the-top way. So thank you very much for showing this interest. We all from the film industry, on behalf of being someone on stage, a very small part, little cog in the wheel of this great film industry that has been going on for the last 100 years. I thank you on behalf of the film industry for taking time out, all you leaders, to tell us what is the way forward. I've known Dutsa for many years, his company for many years. Like he said, I'm family, I'm part of it, and I wish I did.
Owner of the company.
I wish I owned it, like he says, yeah. I wouldn't have to work so hard. And yes, perhaps we do work for pittances, we do work small time, perhaps we do things which are not as big as these wonderful businessmen who see the world from a different eye point than we do. But we will learn from this. So thank you very much. Thank you for introducing me to the concept of dice, as Rana Kapoorji said. Dice, right? Yeah. He says this, yeah, this is cool. So I understand. This I understand. Dice I understand in my own way. I just want...
Dice needs to be elaborated.
I'll elaborate, yeah. I like girls to call me darling. D's for that. I want to be interesting to girls. C, I want to be really the coolest guy for girls. And E, I should have eyes so I can pataw any girl that I want. That's the dice I understand. And inshallah, one day this dice will make me on the billions that you're talking about. But thank you very much for having me over, and thank you everyone for attending this function. And I'm only too happy to come to functions like this because I do realize the importance of business leaders like Rana Kapoorji, Dut Saab, and many amongst you who show us the path. We all have been struggling for years to think of the film industry as an industry. Be as organized, be as far-sighted, be as visionary as most of you in this room. And hopefully one day we will get out of, when you are creative, there are times and spaces where you do sometimes neglect the business, and perhaps we don't have the overview that all of you world leaders of businesses from India have, but it makes us feel very important, makes us feel extremely humble that you should consider us, like you said, a very small business of about 6,500 crores or maybe just about 7,000 crores, smaller even to television, where we all work hard, my friends here, and we try to keep the culture going in our own happy way through the Bollywood films, through the South Indian films, through the Punjabi films, through the Odia films, through the Bihari films, through the Bengali films. And for years, this has been going on. And we hope sometime that, yes, inshallah, one day we will crack the international code in terms of business and viewership. And we can only crack it when organizations like Assocham and leaders like Mr. Rana Kapoor, Dut Saab, so many amongst you, show us the path. So please do help us, explain to us the path to take, so that if we don't get the billions, at least we understand how many zeros are there in it. So thank you very much for this great evening. I hope you guys have a good dinner, have some wonderful drinks, and you have the most entertaining people with you, Dut Saab and Rana Kapoor Saab. So you don't need me for entertainment. So I'm trying to sound as serious I can. But God bless you, and thank you for having me over. Thank you very much.
Khan Saab, now I'm going to ask you to stand up actually because he's really taken time off from a very busy schedule, and you're going to go back to the shooting of Dilwale. Dilwale Dulhania le jayenge 87 times, like literally. So all the very best, and thank you so much for being here with us this evening, and good night.
We're not going to let him go, right?
We have to. He's really like get away.
Quick question, please. A question.
Oh, yeah, if there's some
Before
questions,
Khan Saab leaves, is there a question that the press would like to ask him?
One question only.
This is Sohail. As Mr. Rana Kapoor said, you have that potential, you have that capability, but then I think so you are just 10% you exploited yourself, in fact. What have you to say about this thing, and how much seriously are you going to take this thing?
Please exploit me. All the ladies of the world, come forth and exploit me. I'm waiting to be exploited. I have 90% more to give. I try my best. Like I said, I have limited understanding of businesses, and I am not ashamed to accept that. The visionaries like Mr. Rana Kapoor, they do understand businesses internationally more than I can. And I would like to remain in the creative space, but yes, whenever I get the opportunity with Mr. Kapoor, I spend time, try to understand, figure out how I can take the business of Indian cinema forward in our small ways. I think Boniji does that. All of us try our best. And if we don't have leaders like this telling us how to do it, we won't be able to do it. But I hope, that there is genuinely space for Indian film industry to the extent of 90% to take itself forward and rule the world. Not just me or Red Chilies or XYZ company. I think film industry as a whole in India, I think has a space to take itself 97% forward. And inshallah, in our lifetime, we'll be able to see that.
But I will congratulate you because you have done that thing. I think so. Ravan was one of the most expensive film you tried, actually.
Don't remind Boniji and me of expensive films, please.
Thank you, Khan Sahab. Thank you so much. We know you have to get back to your film. Thank you very much for being here with us.
I can't afford it till Yes Bank gives me a loan.
Say yes to Red Chilies, say yes to SRK.
And how much? You have to say that. You can't just keep saying yes. Are you giving it to me in the billions that you mentioned?
But this one question I come back to, because everybody knows you in the media, in the intellect of the media and the film industry. The bestest part of Shah Rukh, which is not a closely guarded secret, but which can really make a transformational difference, is somebody like him creates India's biggest studio. And it's not about the Warner Brothers and the Columbias and, in Hollywood. A man with his intellect, with his intellectual capacity, with his entrepreneurship, and naturally driven by, the talent which spearheads that. If he can create an Indian studio, it could become potentially a role model. So India needs a high jump and a long jump in entrepreneurship, in media and entertainment. I can't think of too many leaders, honestly, who have the aspiration, who have the ability, who have the diversification and the ability to manage teams. Because he manages sports teams, he manages even in Caribbean, right? But the fact of the matter is, if he decides one day to be at least 30% entrepreneur, that it can be the beginning of India's, the Chinese have done it. How will you challenge Shah Rukh, the Chinese? Because the Chinese have learned from the Americans and they're becoming bigger than the Americans. Can you not do something for India like that?
Absolutely.
Which can be disruptive, which can be a paradigm.
This is an open challenge to the Chinese. They understand this, you guys don't understand. So take the challenge and we'll talk about it. I'm going to challenge them.
Thank you so much, Khan Sahab. It was lovely having you here with us. We know you have to get back to your shoot.
Everyone.